If you're a Scotch drinker, you've probably had or at least heard of Johnnie Walker. It's that square-shaped bottle with a slanty label and the guy with the hat who's just sort of strutting like he's late to wash the dishes or something. And Johnnie Walker is in fact a damn fine whiskey blended with grain, except for the green label. And come on, nobody's gonna be upset if you show up with a Johnnie Walker to a party. No one turns down Johnny. So in this video, we're going to expand your knowledge about the famous alcoholic beverage in the world. If that sounds interesting, please stick around, watch this video till the end, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss when we come out with more videos. John grew up in a place called Todrigs. He actually had to sell the farm and the establishment of the original John Walker grocery store for just over £500 after his father's death to open his first grocery in Kilmarnock. If John Walker hadn't set up this shop, Kilmarnock might have stayed a lot less famous, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Be careful though, that links to a poem. Most whiskies at that time were found in general groceries, meaning you could buy stuff like flour and hard liquor in the same trip. Johnnie Walker was no different, sold in its very first years out of the family grocery store in Kilmarnock. John saw spirits like gin, brandy, rum and scotch, as well as more exotic products such as tea from China and pepper from Jamaica from as early as the 1820s. Having learned the art of blending tea, John transferred the technique to whiskey in an attempt to make a more consistent product from the single malts, which could often fluctuate in quality. At first, he did this for regular customers on request, but eventually he would make regular batches for regular buyers, settling on smoother recipes which balanced out the impurities of the single malts. And this would go on to form the basis of the blended whiskey category we know today. The square bottle was introduced early into the brand's life. Alexander introduced the now famous square bottle for ease of transportation, to reduce breakages and to ensure there was no wasted space in shipping crates. Alexander Walker took over operations after his father John's passing, and among the several things he did to help the family Scotch stand out from the growing whiskey crowd was slanting the label precisely 24 degrees. First drawn in 1908 during lunchtime by Tom Brown, who was a famous illustrator at that time. The striding man was based on a London dandy with his thrifty clothing, including a fuzz-covered top hat, monocle and walking cane. The Johnny he drew has evolved into a sleek and mysterious dude, but back in the day, he was a lot more colorful and friendly. Interestingly, he didn't appear on the packaging until 1950s, featuring only on advertisements before then. The striding man changed direction in 1999 for the launch of the Keep Walking campaign to depict him walking forwards into the new millennium. The original bottles didn't say Johnnie Walker or show someone strutting. Like many vintage whiskey items, old Johnnie Walker bottles, full or empty, are on sale. One seller advertises a bottle that reads John Walker and Sons, plus some legal stuff etched into the bottle about how federal law forbids sale or resale of this bottle. But these days, that law is no longer considered. So is the law no longer considered? Or is the seller just badass? We'll never know. The oldest Johnnie Walker bottle in the archive in Men's 3 has a snake in it. The rare bottle, which dates from the 1880s, is filled with whiskey and remarkably, a pickled snake. Though Christine McCarthy, who manages the archive, admits they are not sure how it got there. She said, "We believe it left Scotland without a snake and made it to the Far East, where it's not unusual for things to end up pickled in bottles of whiskey. Somehow it managed to make its way back to Scotland, and we found it when we were clearing out one of our old packaging rooms." The color identification didn't come until much later. We've all knocked back a bottle of Johnnie Walker Red, right? Well, anyway, the bottles weren't labeled by color until Alexander Walker passed the business on to his sons, and they started identifying the different blends this way. Johnnie Walker Blue is still the stuff you have to hide from anyone not worthy, but there are also now gold and platinum labels. If you've ever heard your dad or grandpa say how much they love the Johnnie Walker Blue Label, think again. Despite feeling it's been around for a very long time, Johnnie Walker's premium blend has only been around since the early 90s. Gotcha, Grandpa, you ain't lying to this 20-year-old ever again. The Johnnie Walker Red was initially meant to mix. Not that you can't drink it straight, but Johnnie Walker Red was apparently created to be more suitable to mixing with soda than those other heavier scotches. And yes, Scotties mix some of their whiskies with soda. Surprise. Well, there is a $22,000 bottle of Johnnie Walker. Actually, it's $22,577 US and 44 cents. Hey, if you can't come up with those 44 cents, then you better stick with Coca-Cola. Now, this bottle is a blend of 45 to 70-year-old whiskies, and it's a celebration of the company's legacy. And put aside that giant briefcase of cash away, because this thing is not for sale. Johnnie Walker bottles are like celebrities in the whiskey world. So why don't you guess who is the Dwayne Johnson, Brad Pitt and Selena Gomez, and let us know in the comment section below. Johnnie Walker has appeared in many classic movies, including the original Blade Runner. Diageo released a Johnnie Walker Black Label, the director's cut, in 2017, which is a limited edition whiskey developed in collaboration with Blade Runner 2049, director Denis Villeneuve and Jim Berridge, who is also known as the Johnnie Walker Master Blender, to celebrate the release of the sequel. The new blend arrived in 35 years after Johnnie Walker Black Label appeared in the original Blade Runner movie as an iconic whiskey of the future. And there you have it, guys. These are some facts you have to know if you're a Johnnie Walker fanboy. Let us know what type of video you would like for us to upload next in the comments section below. Oh, and don't forget to let us know which celebrity personalities like these yummy whiskeys. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next video.